Welcome everyone. In today's episode, we'll talk about custom JavaScript functions in AppGyver. Episode 14 of the AppGyver series. In today's episode, we're gonna look at custom JavaScript code used in AppGyver. I'll explain you how it works, what you can use it for, and I will create an example where I calculate workdays, which are currently not available as a function in AppGyver, and I will show you how you implement this. So let's not wait and let's start building the app. Couple of things. So let's change the text and let's call it calculate workdays. Step number one, that's it, and then this one is a simple app to calculate the number of workdays between two dates. Let's save this one. And let's quickly start to, in the navigation, remove the navigation because we don't want a bottom, we don't need a bottom and top navigation. So that's removed. So let's quickly look at what we're gonna build. So these two from date and to date, these are two new components which just came out, which uses the native date functionality from the iPhone and also from the Android, of course. And there's two fields in the bottom, which is the number of workdays and the number of days. So what do we have now? It's simple. So let's just add those. Start first adding those from and to date and the number of workdays. Let's start with that. Let's build the UI first. So those components are not standard, so we actually need to look them up in the and there it is. This is the new component, so we install them. And it's now added to my installed version, and I'm going to add not one, but I'm going to add two of those ones. So quickly explore, give a bit more space here. What we have a minimum date. So what's the minimum date you can enter on the phone? In the from date or in the date field, we have selected value, so that comes in. So you can do the default value. We'll use the same one. That's the name of the field. In our case, we're going to call ahead from date, and the placeholder text when it's empty, choose a from date. We don't want to repeat it. And we want to make it visible. Yes, weekdays name, none of this we want to like to do. What's this first start? We start on a Monday. And then the date format, what will be visible. What I'm going to use here is date, month, and then year. And there's the confirm and cancel button. And we want to show the icon. Yes, we don't want to change a different one. We don't want this for everything. I think it's fine. So we're just going to press save. I just want to show you directly in the app what I've customized. So you see now the from date and choose from, and when I click on here, it gives me the date. I have now a cancel and a confirm. Cancel doesn't do anything. I can just go back. I can customize the cancel and confirm also, but I have not done this. And then I just select the date and I press confirm. And then you see here let me show the difference what I've done. So that one I have changed the visible date format. It says now 70 February 2022. Oh, that's too much actually, so I have to remove that. I think they made a little mistake there. And so let's fix that quickly in here. I want one, so let's save that one. So let's just pick again, confirm, and that's February 2022. If you want to do 4, if you think that's more what you like, so then just select one, confirm, and that's 2022. So let's take this one. Let's copy and paste and put this also in this field here. So to the advanced options, and we set the date format and we save them both. A couple of things you want to change. I want the minimum date, but so the label is now, instead of make it to date, so from when to when do I want to calculate, and choose the to date and press save. Let's now go create the number of work days, the number of days. So let's create it at the same time also now. So I'm going to create a container. In there, I'm going to copy that one, and I need to get my Control V, ends up in there, and do another one. So duplicate, no. And then I duplicate that one. I want them to be in this on the same row. So in layout, we go horizontal. That one, the properties of that one, I will call number of work days. And then this one, for now, I'm just going to make it a simple number. In this case, 4. I just want so 4, and I want to move the layout. I want to go all the way to, that's the center. I want to go, oh, not justify, actually want it to go to the right, to the other side. So save that one. And then I will then duplicate this one. And that text I will is the number of days. And I'll make that 6. So we have now 4 and 6. So let's just put some variables in there. So we go to variable. I want to create one which I call days. So we call it days. It's a number and it's a 0. Then I create a second one which I call workdays. That's also a number again. And then I add 2 more. One is what I call from date, which is a date and text, so it's the complete one, and I save this one, and then let me add one more, and then the next time is the to date, and that's also a dated time. So now I need to bind those ones to the different elements on the screen. So go here. I'm looking now for the selected value. In my app variable, I will then use I think it's the from date. Yeah, that's the example. And then we go here what I also want to do is like, I don't want to select one before, so I'll use it also as the minimum date. So I set the minimum date to that one, and the selected value I'll make to toDate. And I save, and then let's do the last one also here. In this app variable this is workdays 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one will be then the days, and I save. So now I can, it's the same thing. So now select this one, 17th of February, I confirm. And then this one you can see I can't go before that. I have a minimum date and I confirm that one. Perfect, so I have 2 days. The calculations have been done yet. So let's work on that now. So what I want to do, in case both of them have a date filled in, any of them when I select or change, I would like then, when that happens, I would then kick in to make to calculate the work days and the number of days. So let's start first with this one. So we change the event to output selected values label changed. So that's the one is when I change the date, that one comes up. And the first thing I want to do is I am setting the more space here. So I have days, which is the, this case, it's the from date we're doing here. So this is when I want to store it in a variable. Then, okay, so where it comes from? It comes from the selected, so the selected component I'm selecting, and it's the selected value. There's actually multiple items here, minimum all of them. So once I can use if I want to, or I can have a look, but that's not what I want. I just want to have the selected value, and I press save. Then the next one I want to do is I want to check if neither of them are empty. So I can do a if I do it in a formula. So is, I'm looking for is empty. And that is a there is a app variable, and that's the from date. And I'm gonna copy them. If any of them is empty, then do nothing. Otherwise, do something. So in this case, so that one is empty. If this one is empty, or that any of it, then do nothing. Otherwise, do something. So if any of them is empty, I go here the top one. What's the truth one? But I would like now to do the false one. So when it's false, then I would like to set the app variable, well, which will be days, and I'm going to use a formula, and the formula is date difference, then the first date, which comes out of that one, and then it comes to date, then so the large one minus 1, and then I always want to do +1 and press save. So having done this one, let me just save this one. Now I'm copying the similar change this one to output selected label, Control V, then it's not the from date, in this case it's the to date, and the to date is the selected one. It's the same one, so just copy and paste, which makes it easy. Then I go here, and that one is again is the same one as this one. We can do Control V, and again when both of them are selected, then I calculate the number of days. So we go false here, press save. And now let's quickly check the app. So we look at today. So let's it's February, so let's put this back to the 14th of February, which is Monday. And then let's take it to the 18th, which is 4 days later. And then you see here now it calculates the number of seconds between the days, and that's what we want. We actually want to have the number of days. So we go back into our calculation, and then if you look at here, there's actually how you returns the unit, and we have a default one, and I think the default is like milliseconds, which I don't want. I wanted to go back to days. So I'm gonna get days back. So let me copy this because I want to do it also for that was one, and now I do this one also, and I just copy and paste a similar kind of idea. And now it's in days. So if I now press save, and then we try this one again. So let's try again. So again, let's go to the 14th of February. Which is a Monday, and then we go to the 18th, and of course I'm using what I'm used to now. 8 days gives us 5 days, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which is exactly 5 days. If I, however, will move this, for example, to the Saturday. So I go to the 12th of February, and I check then. I have then 7 days. But if I want to calculate number of work days, in this case I don't work on a Saturday and Sunday, I would like not to calculate those days. So how do we do this now? So in AppGyver currently they don't have a function for this. So if you look at the different date functions, it's not there. So what you can do is you can extend the functionality with JavaScript. So let's start doing that. So there's this thing called JavaScript, custom node, advanced. So we give it first a name, and I'm going to call it CalculateWorkDays. And I save this one. Then I can click twice on it. And what you see here is 3 parts of the screens. Remove this one. On the left, you see the input. So what do I bring in? This is the JavaScript bit, so the execution, and it says how to return what I then output out of my function again. So in this case, input 1, which is this one here, I am gonna make input 1 and make it to uppercase. And I output that result to outputs, and I put it into output 1, which then is a text, and that text I can then use. Okay, so how do I calculate the working days? I have this example from on Stack Overflow. It's a question asked: how do I working days including holidays? It was a nice answer given by Oscar Garcia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take part of his code and I am going to adjust it for what I have built. So let's just copy and paste. I will put a link also in the description below, so you can always see where I got that from. So let me quickly go through the code. So what it does, it has a function with 2 input parameters. It also has a other variable for holidays. So these are 2 holidays. And then it has a start and an end date where it then starts the calculation with. The first thing it does, it checks if the end date is smaller or equal to start date, then just return 0 because we can't calculate that. It calculates the days between the days between different days. Then it removes the weekends. So every day. And then there's some special case handlers. So not previously removed. There's all it ends up then checking all the holidays also. For each reckoning holiday, it will check it then. So these are quite standard JavaScript. And I have come and adjust it a bit so you actually can use it in this piece of code. So I'm going to have I would like to create a similar variable. So there's one called D0. So 0. I'm going to add this one. In my case, it's not, it doesn't have any value for now. So I'll show you what I do later with this. So let's just do this, D0. I also have a D1. And then I also have one that's called holidays. Let me check for the holidays. This one here, holidays. So these are my 3 input variables. So what do I want to get out? I want just the work days. So let's remove result and replace it by days. And days is a number. Yes, it's required. The example value is 5 days, doesn't really matter. And that's it. So now I'm going to do some other things. I'm going to now remove these variables because I don't need them anymore. There is this thing called parse date. This makes sure that the date you entered is correct. We're going to use we're typing the variables, and I'll show you what I mean by that later on, is that we don't need to, we are already sure that the right value already comes in. So I'm going to remove this. I'm also going to remove this one because that comes from the function. And I just want to remove this also. And I'm going to remove, and I don't want to have 2. So I want to make a day. This is a bit of a short. Normally you can also write it this way, which means like this is a JSON object with days and then the number. This is how it then would look like, but I have a shortcut which just takes me days and it does exactly days, whatever variable in it. This isn't 0, but it could be anything. Okay, so I don't need the parse date because I already know exactly I have the right date. So and this is probably gonna make it a bit more clear, so I'll make it holidays array. So it's an array of holidays. I just want to make sure. I'm gonna check if that one is filled, yes or no. So let me just add here. So in case it's empty, so if it's empty or does not exist, or if it does exist, let's use holidays array. So if that one, if I send this as an input, send this, otherwise then send it, but if not, then just make a standard list. So we make sure there's no errors. The only thing what I would like to do is I now need to retrieve the variables from the input. So from this input here, I can do this really quickly. I'll take another, so D0, comma D1 and holidays array, and I take them from input. So you can see them here. So this is from the inputs variable. In here there's D1, D0, D1 and holidays array. I just take them from here as variables, assigned variables, and then here I start working with those variables to the code. So this is the code to do so. I'm just gonna update. And what I'm gonna do directly, I'm gonna make a flow function out of it. Because with a flow function, I can add also custom variables in that again. So makes it a flow function, and only flow function to me. I can click on here, and now it has changed a bit. I have input variables and output variables. So how do I set up the input variables? Again, here I can write description, intro, go calculate workdays between two dates. This category is, I make it an what should we make them? I think that is nice, utility. So that's the first one. So the first one is I go from start date, and I press plus. Again, this is the start date. That's not a text, it's a date and time. This value is required. And you can see the example here. The same one, the second one is from not a start date, but it's an end date. Again, I create a new one out of that one. End date. And again, the same thing. And then the last one, again, this is the one is required. And then the last one is holidays. And that one, so an array or a list with holidays. So that is a list. Somehow it says navigation, but it's actually a list with text. So in this case, and there would be something like 26, 22, 02, 14. And this value is not required. So I press OK. Now I need to map those variables to the input variables of the JavaScript functions, and I can do that by clicking twice again on it. And And now I'm gonna match them. So it's from the flow function input. This case is the start date. Let me save them. And again, flow function, end date. And then this one is the flow function and the list with holidays, and we'll save them. So we update them. For the output, there's only one output to select for. You can see it's days, so we'll take that one. That's it. We save that one. We exit the flow function. And now we connect this two. So after done the calculation, I do then just gonna make override to make sure it's globally done again. I'll save, and you see the little remark here, so it means that it's overwritten. You need to continue everything. You want to make sure that if you only want one version, you need to continue doing this. If you make a change here, or make sure you then make sure it's updated. Otherwise, they are different ones. So you can see here now on the right. So this particular flow function has now a start date. We have also, oh, that's not that one. That is the from date. And the other one is then the to date. And we save this one. And now the list with holidays, I'm not going to fill this one. I'm not going to use this one. And then I want then afterwards, I want to set the app variable. So, and which variable I want to set? I don't want to set days. I want now to say workdays. And I save that one. And then instead of having this function, I don't want that function. I want the output from another node. I first need to touch them together. Then I can do that. So output from other node, and then this is the CalculateWorkDays. And that's the days we just come out of that one. We press save. We save that one. We then copy, Control C, go to this one. We move ourselves to the right, Control V. We connect the two again. We check if they're from data nicely connected. This one is empty, which is great. Then we go back there again, and then we Control C. Control V gives us in there. And then the workday is still the same, only that is now a different one. And now we've connected that one also. Now we can press save. And now just take our design. So let's check now from the 14th. Confirm. We look at the 18th. We do confirm, and it's correct. Okay, so let's have a look back at the code, see why it doesn't work. So it's always good to check. And I think I know what is wrong. So if you look at the original code, I talk about this parse thing, and I said, okay, this parse the things, we already have this. The only thing that I forgot is that this actually says new date also, so it actually creates a new date variable. So what I need to do is just to create this new date. So it actually, the little piece of code knows this is actually not a number anymore, or a string. It's actually a date variable. So let's press update. Let's save this one. Let's make sure that it overrides the local template. So it makes sure that the one that they actually both show the same code now. And now have a look. Let's check again. So we go from the 14th and we go all the way to the 18th and we press save, and now you can see it's both 5 days, which is great. So let's just move that first date back, or the second back, by 2 days, which is now the 18th. We don't want to be the 18th, we want it to be the 12th. Then we confirm that, and now you can see that the number of work days is still the same because we don't work on the weekend, and the number of days is 7. So that's for today. What I have done is actually I've made this component. So let me exit this. So if you now go to the flow function and you look for workdays, then there it is. This is the one I created. You can actually then install it also. I'll send also this, it's called a token, which you then can search on easily. I put that also in the description below. So for you, it's easy to, if you don't want to use all the code, it's already there, ready to go. So I would like to thank you for today. It's a bit different tutorial than before, not really focused on design, but more on writing a piece of code. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more of this type of videos, or you rather prefer the design videos I've done in the past. Let me know. If you like this video, press the like button. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to my channel. It's really appreciated. And then if you want to see, press the little like button, little bell. If you want to have a direct update, you get directly the videos when I publish them. So for that, I can only say stay curious and see you in the next video.